How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we're going over a suggested video of Clinton Anderson. Somebody asked me to go over Clinton Anderson, give my thoughts on him, so we're going to be looking at just this random video, gaining control and respect on the ground, down under horsemanship. So I think he's more aggressive than he needs to be in some cases. I mean, I wouldn't go to him necessarily for a clinic or necessarily follow what he says or all of what he says, but I mean, he has some good and some bad, just like everybody else, except for a lot of the trainers that I cover in the dog world. So we're just going to skip around in this video. Really just the beginning part of it is what I want to see. He has a clinic going on that he's showing people. The thing that bothers me is that everybody has a whip. Every single person has to have a whip with them to work with their horse. You don't need a whip to work with your horse. If you have to have a tool like that, then I think you are cheating the horse. I think it's a cheat. So, but that's just my opinion. So, we'll see.
It's very important, mate, to make sure that you flex her every day and get her nice and light.
So I say because this horse is already giving you their head. They're already kind of flexing. They're trying to avoid pressure. They have a bit in. And the way he's doing it is like rough again and again and again and again and again and again. So I'm not a fan of that. I don't mind. I mean, I think it's great to flex your horse, but it's a cheat when you have a bit in their mouth that's already looking very tight. This poor horse is very respectful. They have their head down. They're being nice and light. And even though they have this rope tied here, it's still pulling on the bit on their mouth. And those reins are very, very short.
It's very
so, geez, did you see her full-on grip? She had a full-on, like a fist like this that she's just grabbing the horse with.
You're training a horse to be consistent. Remember, consistency is your greatest ally and inconsistency is your greatest enemy.
Pull out.
G'day, mate. I'm Clinton Anderson, and I'd like to welcome you to
my
program of Down Under Horsemanship. On today's show, I'm going to be working with a group of students that have come to my ranch here in Houston, Texas, and I'm going to be working with the fundamental level of my program.
7 times
flexed.
I'm
going to be showing them how to get respect and control of their horses on the
Ouch,
ground and
8.
on the saddle. So come on, mate. Let's go get them broke.
9. 9 times. I don't think you need to flex your horse 9 times. I don't care. I flex a horse maybe twice on each side. Twice if we're working on it. Maybe once if they already know how to do it. But if we're working on it, then and they need a reminder. They're giving me like, they need more practice or they're a little bit stiff, then I'll do it maybe twice. But that's it on each side. I'm not going to do it 9 times. There's no bit in the mouth. I do it with a halter. That's just me. Every single person here has a whip. All this fancy music.
Very important because it's the first.
Okay, that was unnecessary. We're gonna go back and see. So he's in front of the horse's driveline. The horse is facing him, and then he just decides to run at the horse. Swish his whip towards the horse's face, towards their body. I like they're in a halter. I don't like that he's just running at the horse in front of their driveline. Move behind the shoulder here, and you will move the horse forward. If you were to put pressure over here and be aiming more towards the shoulder at an angle, if I were to just pick him up right now and move him over here when the horse was standing, facing him, then you could move the horse forward. But he's more aggressive than he needs to be, and that's what I don't like about him. He uses a whip all the time, and he will leave lash marks on these horses. He's just so unnecessarily aggressive.
So being able to get your horse to give
and all of these horses are in fight or flight mode. They're all in flight mode. These people are so aggressive. Chase, 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 whip, whip, whip. And all the horses do what we call an inside turn, or what they call an inside turn. I don't know, more horse people with more knowledge than I do. They call it an inside turn because the horse turns inside the pen. When you're chasing aggressively, a horse is going to do that versus giving you an outside turn, where here, an inside turn, they turn their butt to you. They're not turning their butt to you to be aggressive. They might be, defensive, but if you do it soft, you can do an inside turn where they turn their head towards you to change direction. So instead of having their head turn toward the gate, it would be their butt would turn toward the gate and they would switch direction. But when you're aggressive, I mean, if you know how to do it right, you can do an inside and an outside turn. But these people are all gonna, I mean, they're just chasing their horses right now. That's all they're doing. You don't need to use this much.
Because he's a lot further away from you, so it's safety first, mate.
So he does this as if, I mean, I'm sure he's working with a lot of aggressive horses, but even then, you know, for me, I'm one of those people where a horse has to give me a reason to be aggressive. Just go out there and start chasing them around. I don't use a whip. You know, unless I really need to, then yes, I will go out there and I'll put a lot of pressure on a horse. If that horse is really trying to show, you know, dominance or be disrespectful or like they're threatening to hurt me, then yes, I will. But, you know, most of the time, I mean, I'm not out there being a clinician. I'm not, you know, people aren't paying me to work with their horses. So I don't go messing around with horses that I don't know. You know, the horses that I work with, you know, I have, consent to work with them, and they're all, you know, none of them are aggressive, and if they try to, you know, threaten anything, then, you know, I just move their feet a little bit. I don't chase them with a whip. I just move them back. I may have them do, you know, a couple of lunge circles. I might lunge them in a couple of circles, but I mean, that's it. You know, change direction. I don't need to chase them with a whip. I don't need to go smacking them or hurting them or anything like that. I mean, if I were to be in a round pen, I really need to put pressure on a lazy horse, then yeah, I might chase them a little bit. I might chase them. I might use a whip. I might use you know, a rope, you know, throw a rope at them or something, you know, to get them to move, use a plastic bag or something. I would do something to put more pressure on them, but I'm not going to smack them with a whip to get them to move. That's just me. Again, I'm not working with aggressive horses even then, unless the horse is actively trying to hurt you. I don't think you need to. This should be, it would be helpful if this was looped under the throat latch. So it's not going to smack the horse in the eye, but it's a very cute little horse.
It's difficult in the round pen for people when they
The horse is moving. She continues to put pressure. Beautiful. Done. I think that's what it's called. Is a done. Or they have a stripe on the back. But they're constantly with the whip. She has sunglasses on. Not very helpful. Because the horse is not able to see your eyes. You want the horse to be able to see your eyes. If they can't, then that's going to be, you know, more difficult for communication for them.
You have to stay behind the drive line of the
more
horse.
aggressive. This horse is very cute, but they got little boots on, which tells me that they work their horse a lot, so their tendons are sore. Gave a little bit of a flashy tail, like, quit chasing me, I'm running, quit chasing me, quit being a predator.
You have to be aware of when to apply pressure and what not to apply pressure.
And that's very true. You do have to be aware when to apply pressure and when not to. And all these people continually put pressure on these animals. It's easy. We got more boots over here. They're not, I don't know if they're called boots or not, but there's straps around the tendons, which says they work the horse a lot. This horse over here might be shaved. I can't tell, but I mean, all these horses are adorable. They're very, very cute. And, you know, I mean, cute as they may be, that doesn't mean that they get away with that doesn't mean I'm totally passive aggressive with animals, okay, especially horses. You know, they have more of a pecking order than, you know, dogs aren't. I don't need to put pressure on dogs. But, you know, with horses, it's either higher or, you know, you're higher or lower in the pecking order. You know, with every new person, the horse gets to know you and they might try to see, you know, hey, can I push you around? Can I not? You know, they may be pushy with people, they may not be. But even so, I'm not going to continually chase this horse and act like it's going to die, you know, even if it's a pushy horse. I'll move them around. I'll make sure that they get tired from moving, but I'm not going to be chasing them with a whip constantly. It's easy to put pressure on an animal, and people get the excuse all too often to put pressure on the animal, and they don't give them release. And that can make an aggressive horse. So he put more pressure. The horse was doing just fine. He puts more pressure, and the horse starts to gallop. That unnecessary. I also don't like that these halters have these little knots here. These are probably Clinton Anderson halters. We got a whip here. Cute little horse. I don't like that these knots are here because there's very sensitive cartilage right here, and bone, and so this will just is just more correction to dig into that part of the bone. And the nose.
Quarter horse. I've had him about 3 months. He didn't know anything.
So she has gloves on, a metal clip, she has a tight grip, and she's right under the horse's chin. All those are signs that she's not comfortable with the horse. She doesn't know how to handle a horse with soft hands. The gloves are a dead giveaway that the horse gives her rope burn.
of this method
because she doesn't know how to let go of the horse.
So it's been exciting.
I don't like to back up a horse like this.
For me. He's young, and I knew there were a lot of holes in his training.
So that's good. She's desensitizing him to that.
And when I came, I found out.
I don't know what she's trying to do.
So,
oh, she's trying to gain her. Wow, we got zebra markings on this horse. Nice little dun with the tiger stripes on the legs. But regardless. Regardless of you know, all that, everybody has their little boots on. So she says he's 5 and she's had him 3 months. So he should, you know, just barely be started under saddle. And it seems like he's already been used a lot and ridden. I don't know. That's just my take on it. He may not have been, you know, ridden a day in his life yet, but I hope he hasn't, because their bones don't fuse until they're 7 years old. They shouldn't be doing heavy riding until they're 7. So she's teaching him to stay way at the end of this rope, and she's using her damn whip so she can, you know, be, you know, boss of this horse, and everybody has to stand at the end of this rope. I mean, unless I have an aggressive horse, then yeah, I'll have them stand at the end. But again, I don't think this horse is aggressive. I think he's teaching them a bunch of nonsense.
For both of us, him especially.
So she's getting very predatory. Oh, look at this cute little pony. Well, I don't know if it's a pony. It looks very small, but.
On a chest.
Oh, no. You don't need to do that.
I'm going to tap the rope with rhythm. Yeah. As soon as she backs up a step or two.
A definite.
That is so unnecessary.
Adjustment.
And then I scratch you on the head. That was just, and then we go, you know, so the horse really gets no release. So they use pressure to move the horse away. Then they use scratching on the head as a way to desensitize from the stick, but that still could be seen as pressure to the horse. This little flap should be under here. But they don't really give the horse much release. And I don't like the smacking on the chest. You know, you can easily just teach your horse to back up with just a very light hand at chest area, not at the face, not at the eye, or this, or you can use a signal, whatever you want. You know, don't be wiggling the rope. You can just tell them back and then very gently pull back on the rope halter when you're standing here by their shoulder, and you can gently tell them back. And then over time, you can be further and further away. You can be in front of them and tell them back, and do this with your hand. You know, put a little bit of pressure on them, but you can put pressure here towards the chest where you don't have to go smacking them with the stick, because they don't know what you want. They don't deserve to be corrected because they don't know what you want and you don't know how to tell them.
Was very slow in the back up.
She's acting very predatory. And now almost goes and pokes the horse in the eye. Again, all that is pressure. There's no release. If I were to be doing this and I were teaching the horse to back, I would put a little bit of pressure, this much pressure, against the halter, and just have them move back 1 step. And as soon as they move back 1 step, I would say back, and then I would release my hand and release the pressure on the halter. And I can do that practicing in front of them. I can do it on the side of them. I can do it on their back. I can do it behind them where I have this looped around their neck, and I can, you know, just pull it back just a little bit. And over time, you can be further and further away and you tell them back, back, back. I mean, I don't care about, you know, making them back up 10 steps just because I can. But I'm not going to be using a stick, you know, unless, again, I have an aggressive horse, then I might need to use a stick to keep that distance. But you want to be careful that the horse doesn't kick the stick and then it goes and jabs you. Because if you have a solid piece of wood, or God forbid metal, that's very unforgiving, versus something that's a little bit more giving. But anyway, that's just what I see.
All of a sudden he backs up with enthusiasm.
I don't like that.
Like
oh yeah, of course. Yeah, smack the horse, smack the horse. Now he backs up with enthusiasm. He's trying to avoid pressure from you, lady. He's trying to avoid getting smacked with your damn stick and your whip.
Quarters. He yielded okay, but what he didn't want to do was stop. So when I rubbed him to a stop...
Well, if he doesn't stop, it's because you're not stopping. He doesn't want to stop. Okay, well, you're not. You're continuing to put pressure on him. Trust me, he will stop yielding his quarters. He just doesn't stop because you keep chasing him. If you're chasing him and he's still running, it's because you're chasing him. If you stop, it might take him a couple of seconds to realize, oh, I can stop. And then next time he'll stop less and less and less. And so if you do it right, or you back away and create distance and create that release, then he will stop sooner. But if he's still turning his quarters, it's because, which is his back end.
He just kept going around and around and around.
It's because you've been chasing him. Or if you're trying to desensitize him with the scratching and rubbing, then stop chasing him first. Teach him just to move his quarters, again, his back end, 1 step or 2 steps, and then give him release. Don't try to rub him right away with the stick. I would move them, if I'm going to be moving them or whatnot, I'm going to be turning them using my hand and whatnot, or swinging a rope a little bit. Again, I don't make contact. I'm just putting pressure on them to move that butt away. They move their quarters away. Then I stop. I wait a second. Then I'll rub them. Or I'll move them. I'll stop. Wait for them to stop. Give them a couple of seconds. Move them again. Stop. So on and so forth. Then after that, I give them a few seconds. Then I'll start on rubbing. That's just me, where I do one thing at a time. I don't worry about, chasing, and then immediate rubbing. You need to give them more. The horse is telling you, you need to give them more release than that. Than just, chase. Okay, now I'm going to rub you, because he doesn't know he's supposed to stop. You've been poking him and prodding him and smacking him with this stick the entire time, making him move. So he says, okay, when this stick touches me, I'm supposed to move. If you don't give him enough break, he's not going to know. If you don't give him any release, he's not going to know that he's supposed to stop. Are you playing with that? Cutie.
The method that we used was to...
So see? Oh, I don't like this. Okay, so she was rubbing him, and then she immediately goes to chasing him. Rub, chase, pop, back up.
We made him move his feet, and we moved it
why? Oh my gosh.
So he chased his rear end around until
oh, she dropped her damn whip. Oh,
now
now I'm going to pet you. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with this woman? She carried on with that correction for so long.
Him to a stop, he just kept going around and around and around.
Okay, so she's trying to rub him. He thinks he's supposed to move. Then out of, oh, I'm nice, I'm going to rub you. I'm going to chase you now. And I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 dropped her stick.
Got tired enough.
15 pops on the halter until he's done moving. She dropped her damn stick, and then she's going to pick it up and immediately start petting him again. That is just, I mean, I would say it's abusive, but it's certainly unnecessary. And this is, I don't know who this lady is. I'm assuming she's with Clinton. Maybe she's his wife. Maybe she's his sister. I don't know who, but she's teaching here at Clinton's thing. So, that poor horse.
He was willing to stop and
oh, he's willing to stop now. Look at that swishing tail.
In the horse world, sometimes, in the regular world, you don't see these people that understand your passion for horses. But here we all have the same passion.
You're all a bunch of people who don't know what the hell you're doing. So you go to the one man who's willing to take your money, and he's in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. So he's just here to tell you how to abuse and bully, and be aggressive with your horse unnecessarily. And you're paying him, I'm sure, thousands of dollars. So that's why, I don't know. It's just going to keep on and on and on. He's just going to be chasing and whipping, and, I don't have a whole lot of time today. So that's my little bit on Clinton. I know it's just a little short one, but knowing me, it probably went on at least 15 minutes. So let me know what you think of Clinton. This is just a snapshot, but I've seen more of his work, and I'm not a fan of it. Let me know what you think of the video. Thank you for stopping by. Happy holidays, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Go say how to do to your little critters. Say how to do for me. And until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.